The next programming example is primarily written for the TI-83 series calculators because there is no way to directly compute a logarithm with a base other than 10 or e. You would have to use the change of base formula. The TI-84 series calculators has a way to enter in logarithms with different bases. So let's begin by selecting the Program button. And we want to create a new program, so move the cursor over to New, and then Create New. If you notice, let me go back, and we still have the previous program that we wrote, which was called Quad. Let's move over to New and select Enter. It's asking us for a name. Let's call it log base. So let's go second function and then alpha to put it in the alpha lock mode. Type in log base. And select Enter. Let's go back to the Program button. Move over to I/O. And we want to go to number 3 for display. Now, what is it we want to display? Let's put in log base A of x. So that's what we're trying to compute. Log base A of x. So again, let's go to the alpha lock mode. So second function alpha. And we need to put this in quotations. So select the plus key. Now we'll type in log, and then a space. Remember that is right here, so select the 0 key. And then base, space, A, space, of, space, x. And then quotation mark. Now select Enter. Then we want to go to Program again, move over to I/O, and we want to display something again. So number 3. And let's display input base A. So second function alpha to put it in the alpha lock mode. Input base A. That's what we're going to type in. And then space, base, space, and then A. Finish with a quotation mark, so select the plus key, and there we have it, input base A. Select Enter. Now let's select the program key, and what we want to do is move over to I/O, and we want to select prompt number 2. Now, what do we want to prompt? Well, we just said input base A, so we want to prompt for the base. So that's A. So alpha A. Then select Enter. And now let's compute the log of A. So we just use the log key, and then alpha, and then the math key for A, and then close the parenthesis. Now this computes the log of A, and we want to store this value, the log of A, in E. So store alpha E. Select Enter. Let's go to Program, move over to I/O, and then we want to do a display, number 3. Select 3, and what do we want to display? Well, let's write input log x. So second function alpha, that puts it in the alpha lock mode, quotation mark, input and then space log and then space x, and then a quotation mark. Select Enter. Now we're going to prompt for x. So select the program key, move over to I/O. We want prompt, so that's number 2, prompt for x. So alpha x. Select Enter. Now we're going to compute the log of x. So log alpha x, close the grouping symbol, and then we want to store that in F. So alpha F. Then select Enter. So now let's go to the Program button and then move over to I/O, and then we want to display number 3, and let's display answer. So let's go second function alpha, quotations, answer, and let's close the quotation marks and select Enter. Now the change of base formula, we need one more thing, and that is we're going to take F divided by E. So let's go alpha F divided by alpha E. Now to get out of this program mode, let's go second function and quit. We will run the program and check the answer with the change of base formula. First, let's look at the change of base formula. Log base A of x equals log base B of x divided by log base B of A. A cannot equal 1 and B cannot equal 1. Our calculator has 2 keys, the log, which is base 10, and the ln, which is log of base E. Therefore, if we let B equal 10, then we have the log base A of x equals the log of x divided by the log of A. Or, if we use a base of E, that is B is equal to E, then the change of base formula is the log of base A of x equals the ln of x divided by the ln of A. Before we begin, let's set the calculator to round the results to 3 decimal places. So we do that by going to the mode key, and then right here it says float. We want to move that over to the value of 3. and then select Enter. Let's quit out of this. Second function, quit. All right. Let's run the program log base. So for the first example, let's compute the log base 5 of 17. So remember, we select program. And you can see now there are two programs that are listed. So we want the log base. So let's select Enter. You'll always get this prompt first, and then select Enter. It says the log base A of X. So we want to input base A. Well, the base for this particular example is 5. So we'll select 5 and then Enter. Now it says to input the log of X. So we want to input X. The value of X in this case is 17. Select Enter, and it gives us the answer to 3 decimal places of 1.760. Now, let's check the results with the change of base formula. The log base 5 of 17 equals the ln of 17. So let's take the ln of 17 divided by the ln of 5. Select Enter. And here we have the same value as we did above using the program. Now, just to verify this, remember that you could also change the ln to the log of base 10, which is this key right here. So let's just check it. So let's take the log of 17 and divide that by the log of 5. And again, we get 1.760. Okay, let's go to example number 2. Compute the log base 3 of 703.5. Let's clear the screen first. Select Program, Log Base, and select Enter. And then Enter again. So we want to input the base, which is 3. Select Enter. And then input the value of X, and that is 703.5. Select Enter, and we end up with 5.968. And if we use the change of base formula to check this, let's see what we get. So let's just use the ln this time instead of the ln and log. So let's take the ln of 703.5 divided by the ln of 3 and select Enter. You get the same result. So we know that the program is working correctly. Now I'm going to input the same values as we did previously. So I'm going to run the program again. So let's just input the base, which was 3, enter in the value of X, which was 703.5, and select Enter. Okay, and there's the answer that we just had. So now if you want to run the program again, you would just select Enter. And then it repeats the program. So for the next example, let's compute the log base 12 of -3. So let's do that. Input the base, which is 12, then the value of x, which is negative 3. Now, what should you get on this? Select enter, and we get a prompt that says there's an error, non-real answer. And this is correct. The reason why we're getting this prompt, non-real answer, is because you cannot take the log of a negative value. For the log base a of x, x must be greater than 0. This concludes the video for basic programming of the change of base formula.